Well, here are ladies in their chicken coop. This is a device I built with some hoops. They called it a chicken tractor. And it's made with 2 cattle panels, some chicken wire, a few 2x4s, a few 1x4s, and it's mobile. It can be scooted around on skids to move these chickens around the yard and let them pick at the grass and pick at the bugs. And these are our 4 ladies. We originally had 6 chickens, but sadly we lost all but 1 of the first batch, and 3 of these others were given to us. And so they're sitting out here having a good peck at the ground. It's mowing day for me, and I'm going to mow later on today, and when I mow, that'll be the time that I actually move the chicken tractor too, so that they've got some fresh ground to chew at and pick at. Each time I move it, the area left behind is a little bare, but it's moving it once a week, moves it frequently enough that the chickens don't peck it completely down to nothing. We provide them with not crumble, but pellet chicken food, and which one of them's kind of eyeballing there at the moment in that hopper there. We fill it up a little bit, but not a great deal. It doesn't look like there's much food in it at the moment, but there's plenty enough for them to keep pecking at it. It just needs to be spun a little bit. The reason we don't keep it really full is that food will get moisture in it and then it'll mold, and of course that wouldn't be too great for the chickens. But either way, 4 pet chickens, and they produce way more eggs than we could ever eat. They're more or less pets, not so much that we're after the eggs, but we use the eggs and give them away to friends. And this provides a nice little area. Let me zoom outward and back the camera away a little bit. You'll be able to see us a little better. You can see I'm using it's a 10 by 12 tarp over the top. That provides them some shade, and it also keeps the rain from falling right in where they're at when they're running around in there. We provide them with water in that. You can see there's 2 devices inside. One of them's a watering trough hanging from a beam above, and the other one's their food. And then they dig away and scratch at the ground and do the general chicken thing. A lot of times they'll dig a hole in the ground so that they can create a dust bath to keep mites and things off the chickens. And they groom each other and pick at each other. Once in a while they molt. Of course they don't lay eggs apparently while they're molting, or it doesn't seem like they do, because I guess their energy goes to producing new feathers. On the back end of this thing, you can see where one of them was going near a dark hole back there. Those are nesting boxes. We'll go around to that end and take a look at it. The 2 nesting boxes are set on this end of the chicken tractor, and that's where they can go in at night and sit on their eggs, and they can go in and roost. And they don't get to roost standing on a platform. I had a much larger box on it at one time that they could do that on, but that's how the others died. We had a fire, and sadly it burned the whole end of this chicken tractor off and killed about 4 of our chickens out of the 5 we had remaining of the original 6. One of them got badly injured trying to lay an egg and had to be euthanized. But it's a real simple device. There's 2 12-foot long 2x4s going down each side, and there's a piece of PVC pipe which is cut in half underneath them to act as runners. There's some plywood corner pieces cut at an angle. This is an actual fence piece that I just cut off and used part of to make the front piece. That is a, I guess you could say store-bought, bought a Tractor Supply nesting box on this end, and then a homemade one that I built on the other end. So the whole thing is not real heavy, and it provides the chickens with a means of moving around and a place to live. And it keeps them pretty much out of the weather thanks to the tarp. Go in a little closer and see if you can get a better view of some of the chickies. Come on, girls, pose for the camera. And maybe somebody else, a wife or somebody, might post a comment on YouTube saying the type chickens are. I don't know. I leave all that to the wife. I just take care of the construction, building, and moving. But anyway, that's our chicken tractor. I'll back out one more time, give you a better view of the whole thing from a different angle, so you can see the whole length of it. The entire thing is only about 8 or 9 feet long and about 8 or 9 feet wide. About 8 feet wide and about 9 or 10 feet long. So it's not real big. You can see that's a 10 by 12 tarp that hangs over kind of like an old Conestoga wagon. over the end of it is hooked down and zip tied to it. It keeps it well. We've replaced the tarp. In the years we've had this, we probably replace the tarp every 2 to 3 years, because as long as it's secured where it doesn't flap much, the tarp is pretty durable. And that's the chicken track.